I hated that she still thought I was doing all this so she could simply pretend to go to school. Why was she so opposed to trying it out for a year? Most high school seniors couldn't wait to get to college and experience the freedom of finally being on their own. Of course, I'd always known there was nothing usual about Bella's reaction to normal human events and life changes. I don't need another sports car, and you don't have to pretend anything. 1 year of college wouldn't kill you. Maybe you'd even like it. Just think about it, Bella. Imagine how excited Charlie and Renee would be. And suddenly, for the briefest of moments, I saw a touch of wonder in her eyes. Although it faded almost as quickly as it had appeared, I knew then I had found the key to my last shred of hope. Maybe she would never consider staying human longer for herself, but for her parents. "Edward, I'm worried about living through graduation, let alone this summer or next fall," she said, interrupting my moment of happiness. The look of joy and anticipation for the life I so wanted her to have was now replaced by one of fear. I was determined not to let her make the choice that would forever steal her humanity because she was afraid. How could I ever live with myself? I pulled her into my embrace, wishing she would believe me when I swore to keep her safe. Unlike me and the rest of my family, who no longer had a choice, Bella was a healthy, if not a bit unfortunate, girl, with the rest of her life before her. "No one is going to hurt you," I promised. "You have all the time in the world." "I'm mailing the contents of my bank account to Alaska tomorrow," she said stubbornly. "It's all the alibi I need. It's far enough away that Charlie won't expect a visit until Christmas at the earliest, and I'm sure I'll think of some excuse by then. You know, this whole secrecy and deception thing, it's kind of a pain." She looked up at me with a tiny smile. I knew she was trying to make a joke and keep the subject light like she always did, but her teasing words were too near the truth. She had no idea how difficult it was, living the way we do, never allowing herself to get too close to anyone for fear of discovery. "It gets easier," I said bitterly, finding it harder than usual to hide my displeasure. "After a few decades, everyone you know is dead. Problem solved." The miserable expression that took hold of her made me instantly remorseful. Although it was something she would inevitably have to think about, there was a better time and place to bring it up, and certainly a more tactful way. "I'm sorry, that was harsh," I apologized. "But still true," she said, her eyes vacant and glazed over. Inexcusably, I took advantage of her moment of sorrow. "If I get this resolved, whatever it is we're dealing with, will you please reconsider waiting?" "Nope." "Always so stubborn." "Yep." Her washing machine made a loud sound in an otherwise quiet room, and she mumbled, "Stupid piece of junk," as she reluctantly left my arms. "That reminds me," she said as she adjusted the towel. I could still smell a faint trace of wolf blood on it. "Could you ask Alice what she did with my stuff when she cleaned my room? I can't find it anywhere." That surprised me. Alice wasn't exactly compulsively clean, and I couldn't imagine her volunteering to clean Bella's room. Raiding it and throwing out all the clothes she deemed unacceptable, perhaps, but not cleaning. "Alice cleaned your room?" "Yeah, I guess that's what she was doing, when she came to get my pajamas and pillow and stuff, to hold me hostage." She was glaring at me now, but my mind was already somewhere else. I was sure if Alice had been bothered enough by Bella's room to clean it, she would have said something to me, or at least allowed her mind to wander to it at some point. "She picked up everything that was lying around, my shirts, my socks. I don't know where she put them." It took about 5 more seconds for the pieces to come together, and when they did, I felt like an absolute fool for not having realized it sooner. I should have thought to ask if anything was missing the moment we knew someone had been in her room. "When did you notice your things were missing?" I asked, though I was certain I already knew the answer. "When I got back from the fake slumber party. Why?" "I don't think Alice took anything. Not your clothes or your pillow. The things that were taken, these were things you'd worn, and touched, and slept on." "Yes? What is it, Edward?" She still didn't understand, and I hated to say the words out loud. The idea that this intruder actually had her things made me furious, and I could only imagine the sense of violation it would bring to Bella. "Things with your scent?" I said softly. "Oh," she gasped, her eyes widening. She watched me in silence, while the gravity of what that meant sunk in, and after a few moments she whispered, "My visitor." He was gathering traces, evidence, to prove that he had found you, I wondered. It would make sense if it had indeed been a member of the Volturi, checking to see if she was still human. But I still had my doubts that any of them were involved. No other scenario made sense, though. What other vampire would take along items that smelled like a human, especially one with a scent as sweet as Bella's? Why would they torture themselves like that? "Why?" she finally asked, and I wished I was any closer to an answer for her than I had been when this whole mess had started. If anything, I was more confused. "I don't know," I admitted dismally. "But Bella, I swear I will find out. I will." I pulled her close again, hoping she could feel the absolute promise in my voice. "I know you will," she whispered, her soft cheek pressed tightly against my chest. I could feel her heart beating frantically against me, though she was clearly trying to exude a calm confidence. Her faith in me was overwhelming. It made me all the more determined to solve this mystery quickly, and once again put her fears behind her. A few minutes later, my phone vibrated, breaking our shared moment of peace. "Just the person I need to talk to," I said, when I saw Carlyle's number. "Carlyle, Edward, have you seen today's paper? The situation in Seattle is getting out of hand, and it's not just the sheer volume of deaths, but the manner in which they're happening. They're very sloppy, Edward. Vicious, and with no attempt to hide the evidence." "I'll check it out," I said, his words only partly registering. My attention was elsewhere. "Listen, I'm not quite sure yet what to make of this, but we just figured out that whoever was in Bella's room didn't leave empty-handed." "They took something of hers?" he asked, the concern in his voice obvious. "Yes, several somethings to be precise. Things that would have her scent all over them. What do you think it means?" "It sounds like something the Volturi would do, but Alice remains confident it isn't one of them, and with none of us recognizing the scent, it seems very unlikely." "That's the same conclusion I came to. I just don't know what to think, Carlyle, but I can't stand the thought of someone having her things." "I know, I don't like it either. I'll fill Alice in on what you've told me. Now, Edward, I know you have a lot on your mind, but Emmett was thinking of making a quick run up to Seattle to see if he can find any pattern to the chaos. I know it's not our place or responsibility to interfere, but whoever is causing all this destruction isn't that far away, and if there's any indication that they're headed this way, it's best that we know beforehand." "Maybe I'll go," I said, but as I glanced toward Bella, her eyes still fearful, I couldn't see myself having the strength to leave her, even for a couple of hours. "Maybe not," I amended. "Don't let Emmett go alone. You know how he gets. At least ask Alice to keep an eye on things. We'll figure this out later." "Of course, and you know Alice is always watching." With that, I hung up the phone. Although it couldn't be the foremost thing on my mind, Carlyle's worried tone had me curious. Always the picture of composure, it wasn't often he let his anxiety show. "Where's the paper?" I asked Bella, still not sure how much I should share with her. Did I really need to give her one more thing to worry about? I'm not sure. Why?" "I need to see something. Did Charlie already throw it out?" "Maybe." I ran quickly out to the recycling bin and fetched the paper. It only took a few seconds to find the headline Carlyle was talking about. My eyes scanned the article, horrified at how fast the murder total was rising. Even the most vicious of vampires, with little or no regard as to whether or not he was discovered, couldn't be the sole cause of so many deaths. Not unless he purposely wanted to get caught. With a stab of pain, I remembered a time not so long ago when I had wanted to get caught breaking the rules. Of course, I hadn't needed to kill anyone in order to be discovered. Even in my darkest of hours, I would never have taken an innocent life to ensure the end of my own. There were other ways.